When it comes to historic destinations, it's really hard to top Gettysburg. In the last episode of History Traveler, we were at a sneak preview of the new Beyond the Battle Museum, which offers an alternate view of Gettysburg courtesy of the Adams County Historical Society. In addition to Gary Edelman of the American Battlefield Trust and Tim Smith, who both collectively know more about the Battle of Gettysburg than any other living human being, we also heard from best-selling author Jeff Shera and documentary filmmaker Ken Burns. It would be safe to assume that the showpiece of the museum is an immersive experience called Caught in the Crossfire, which places you right in the middle of the chaos of the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg. It was a little crazy on the day that we went to the preview, so director Andrew Dalton was kind enough to open the doors for us the next day to get a little bit more of the story behind the experience of being caught in the crossfire.
All right, so we just walked into what to me is kind of the, I guess the highlight of the museum, something called Caught in the Crossfire. As you can see, I'm in a home, a reconstructed home that is designed to be like a residence in Gettysburg. And I've already been through this. And I don't want to show what actually happens in here because I think you need to come here and see it for yourself. Plus, it gets pretty dark, and it would be darker than a stack of black cats in here if I tried to film it. But anyway, Andrew's also in here with me and is going to explain a little bit about what went into the making of this exhibit.
Thanks, JD. Yeah, we're inside Caught in the Crossfire. It's an immersive experience inside our new museum, Beyond the Battle, here in Gettysburg. And we've worked really hard to get this experience as authentic as possible. When you walk in here, you're walking into a home that is caught in the middle of the Battle of Gettysburg as the Union Army is retreating through the streets of town on the first night of the battle. The Confederates capture Gettysburg, and you can only imagine the fear and the uncertainty felt by the citizens of Gettysburg. So when you walk in, the citizens, the family that's living in this house is actually below you. There are 13 speakers built into this small room, and you're completely surrounded by the sounds of the battle, the sounds of the family below you. We actually went to a firing range in Virginia and recorded the real sounds of rifles fired through wood and through glass and cannons fired into wood targets to get the real sounds of what it must have felt like for families that were caught in the middle of the battle. So there's a little girl, a little boy, and their parents downstairs in the cellar. You're above them in kind of the living room or the parlor of their home. And the battle just swirls past the outside of the house. You'll see bullet holes crashing through the walls. You'll see the flash of explosions nearby. You'll hear the family reacting. We wanted to do something that's authentic. It's intense. It's not for everybody. We have a warning posted on the outside. If people don't want to do it, it's totally optional, but I hope you will test it out and see what it's like to what it must have been like for the families who were caught in this incredibly tense situation. So you can see there's a table. We've worked on getting some of these props here are original, some are reproduction, but we tried to get everything looking close to how it would have looked in 1863 for the civilians. This is an original piece actually, where you can see that basically it's got some china and other pieces, pictures that have fallen down off the walls. You can probably see in the light the bullet holes on the walls. When it's dark, you don't really see them until the bullets actually strike the wall. And so that's a really intense part of the experience that we wanted to simulate. You can see some chairs and a corner cupboard. And also, this is an original bookshelf and some original books from the 1850s and 60s in our collection, as well as some clothing to kind of capture what it may have looked like inside a home in Gettysburg in 1863.
One last thing that I want to point out here
on this exhibit. So here you see the backside of the house, and like many homes in Gettysburg after the battle, they were just chewed up with bullet and shell fire. So if you take a close look though, when you come here, well, of course, there are the bullet holes, but some of them actually have real bullets embedded in the wood. Not only are they real bullets, but they are bullets that were sourced from the Gettysburg battlefield. Very, very interesting and nice, well, I guess you could say nice touch to this exhibit. Something that just adds an extra degree of realism to it.
So one of the things that we wanted to do when we started our museum was we wanted to highlight the cannonball that came out of the Sherfy cherry tree. And basically the story is that this cannonball for almost 70 years was in a cherry tree on the side of the Sherfy house, and the granddaughter of Joseph Sherfy gave this to the Adams County Historical Society for our collection. And there are photographs of the cannonball in the cherry tree. You know, we know it's the actual cannonball because of some of the indents and indentations you can see in various photographs. So, early on we wanted to highlight the Sherfy farm and some of the damage of the farms on the battlefield. But then the museum designer got the idea to recreate the Sherfy cherry tree, and I'm really excited about the tree. And it really made it look like a cherry tree, and we put another, not the original, but a original 12-pound solid shot in the cherry tree. And at some point, maybe we'll put a vulture in the cherry tree also.